If anyone has not subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe now. Click the bell icon next to it and put it in all. You can watch all the latest videos I post without missing them. Imagine you are lying comfortably relaxing on the deck of a large ship. What if you suddenly see a whitish-gray shadow covering you from the horizon? It would be very, very surprising, wouldn't it? And in fact, you would feel like you've watched a horror movie, because for those who travel on ships, it can be said to be a worst nightmare. But you don't really understand what causes it. It looks like a big fog there. But you don't know what causes it. You don't even understand where it starts or where it ends. And once you see it completely, your ship will seem like a tiny speck of sand in front of a vast desert. Then you realize that if our ship hits this, there is a possibility that our ship will sink terribly. Many people think that whatever the fate of the Titanic was, it could happen again, but this is unlikely to happen in real life. But it is possible that this could happen in real life, because A3a, the largest iceberg to ever hit the world, has started moving from its position again. What do you mean by a huge water vortex for a few months? We know that a vortex is basically a large vortex that is only a few feet in size in a particular area, but in an area like this vortex, these vortexes are very, very large. That is, they spread for several hundred kilometers. It is stuck in such a vortex and has been spinning for many months. And finally, it has now moved from its position again. Actually, this is a very, very large iceberg that broke off from its main iceberg and started moving underwater, but in 2023, it spread out quite a bit and was stuck to an iceberg for 37 years, but finally now it has separated from it and started moving. But do you know how big it is? It's 3 times bigger than New York City. And do you know how much it weighs? 1 trillion tons means you can understand how big an iceberg it is. This is the Filchner ice shelf of Antarctica, which separated from it and came out in 1986. After that, it floated and floated on the ocean, and after reaching a particular area, this main iceberg separated from it. It's basically just a few miles away from Antarctica, and then it started melting a little bit, but it's still very big no matter how much it melts. And by December 2023, it was in pieces. So at that time, scientists altogether gave it a name, A3a, and it slowly started moving away from Antarctica. However, as it was moving, a large vortex was created near the South Ark Islands. There was a Tabular in that area. The water there is spinning very heavily. So it got caught in that ocean current and stayed there for many months. And it rotates 15 degrees counterclockwise every day. However, in December 2024, the iceberg broke free again and began moving towards other areas again. And research is now curious to see in which direction it will go. Basically, the joint icebergs that broke off like this before, all of them from Antarctica, went in a particular direction. Will this one also go in that direction, or will it create its own direction? Basically, why are they doing so much research on this? What do these big ice boxes do? As they melt in the water, they release nutrients. As they release them, they create hot spots that are necessary for life to thrive in that area. Wherever these people travel, these life-related hot spots are created and multiply in that area. So we can study them more and learn more in detail. So scientists are studying this. But there's a problem here. Scientists know it creates life, but they have no idea exactly how it does it or how much of it creates. It has a chance of being affected by the size, shape, and origin of the iceberg. So to find out, scientists are now collecting some water samples from the area they think it might travel to and storing them. They will study it completely and collect water from there again after it passes that area and research it again. Then they will get a better idea of how much influence these massive icebergs have on the ocean life. Basically, do you know how old this iceberg is? The oldest glacial ice in Antarctica is 1 million years old, 1 million years old. The oldest glacial ice in Greenland dates back 100,000 years. The oldest glacial ice in Alaska dates back only 30,000 years and was found in a basin between Mount Bona and Mount Churchill. So this is very, very young compared to them. And at the same time, there is an Alaskan valley where ice is being formed on a very large scale in that area. And in the last 100 years, glaciers have formed on a very large scale in this region. So sometimes it doesn't take long for these glaciers to form, but sometimes it takes longer. And there is a glacier called the Bering Glacier. This glacier is very large, and is said to be Alaska's largest and slowest glacier. It stretches for 140 miles, 225 kilometers. And the ice in this region can move from one end to the other in just 400 years. If such a large glacier formed in 400 years, we can obviously expect it to form even faster elsewhere. There is also an area in the Atlantic Ocean called Iceberg A3a. There are very large icebergs in this area. If you are traveling to any area and want to see more icebergs, then you should definitely go to this area because there are more icebergs in this area, and every year many people come to this area just to see icebergs. Especially from Greenland, most icebergs come to this area. They slowly float in the water from there. Due to these north-south currents, there is Baffin Bay in the middle, and through it they meet in the Laboratory Sea. And then some icebergs join. Some also come from the Canadian shoreline. They come from the Davis Strait, and then they also meet in the Laboratory Sea again. All of these are mostly seen on the eastern and western coast of Newfoundland. Some of these are very old, some as old as 10,000 years, and some are found in this area. And every year, 400 to 800 medium to large icebergs pass through this area, in this iceberg gorge, and how fast they drift depends on their size, their shape, and the currents, the waves, the wind, all of these things. The average speed is 0.4 miles or 0.6 kilometers per hour, and there are many types of these ice bugs. We basically think that all ice bugs are the same, but that's not true. There are 6 types of ice bugs. One of them is the tabular ice bugs. These tabular ice bugs are very flat and they are also very wide. The second is the blocky ice bugs. The sides of these blocky ice bugs are very steep, meaning they have very sharp angles, making them look like they were cut, like pyramids carved into them. The third is wedged ice bugs, which have one side that is steep and the other side that is sloping. Another thing is dome icebergs, which are like top pinnacle icebergs, meaning they are very high up and have a complete steep angle. These pinnacle icebergs are basically very different. The ones we see most are the type and dry dog icebergs, which are U-shaped icebergs. These are seen in many areas and they look very incredible. These icebergs are so many types of icebergs, aren't they? All of them are seen in that area, that is, they are seen there. Tell us which one you find most amazing in the comments section below, and also tell us your favorite one in the comments section below. But all these icebergs, which drift south, melt very quickly after reaching that area because the water in that area is a little warmer. So they can be said to be very unpredictable and sometimes very dangerous. And now satellites are tracking these medium and large icebergs to prevent accidents, but small icebergs are still risky for small boats. In 2018, an iceberg made headlines. There is a village called Newfoundland, which is near Fairy Land, and a giant iceberg appeared in that area, visible very clearly even from the houses of the entire village. In fact, it was many times larger than those houses. The fact that it is stuck in deep waters 330 feet deep gives us a better idea of how big its bottom is. So it's a very, very big iceberg, and not only this one, there are many icebergs like this all over the world, and in this video I'm going to tell you about another amazing iceberg. It's a very, very amazing iceberg, but it's also very disastrous. Because of that, one of the greatest tragedies on Earth happened. That ice was initially attached to a glacier in southwest Greenland, but after a few years it broke. Due to the ice that had been falling in that area for millions of years, all those glaciers in that area also formed. In fact, even mammals were roaming in that area at that time. That ice broke off and came out from a glacier that formed at that time. It began to continue its journey. The length of that iceberg is approximately 1,700 feet. So it's very, very big and weighs 75 million tons. And it's very peaceful, away from everyone. This means that it is peaceful, staying away from areas where ships are frequently moving and away from transport routes, without disturbing anyone. But suddenly one day it started floating. It started moving away from the south. It started to move as most icebergs do. It also started to melt along the way. But even though it has melted, it is still very large. Basically, 99% of ice bugs do not enter the waters of Greenland glaciers. These are from the southern part. Only 1% of ice bugs enter those waters. And this ice bag also entered that water. And after that it just kept going. It moved approximately 5,000 m away from the Arctic Circle. And by April, even though most of it had melted, it was still like a large iceberg. Its weight is still 1.5 million tons, which is twice as much as the Golden Gate Bridge. So everyone thinks it's very, very visible, but the problem is that it's only 100 meters above the water, more of it is underwater. 90% of the ice is underwater. So that means you can notice it during the day, but it's not that easy to notice at night. So that day, April 14, 1912, was the day a tragedy occurred. You must have understood what I'm saying by now. I'm talking about the Titanic. While the Titanic was traveling underwater, it was 370 miles away from Newfoundland in the North Atlantic Ocean. At that time, the ship hit the iceberg. It seemed to them that suddenly this ship went and hit it, then sank into the water. Many people died because of this. But the question that comes to many people is why they haven't seen this before. Basically, everyone thinks that ice bugs are very big and very white, and that there is always snow on them, but in fact, ice bugs are not only white but come in a variety of colors. Sometimes it also has a striped pattern, and sometimes it has candy-like swells. After all, icebergs are also black in color. There are two possible situations for this icebox to change to black. One is that the ice must be extremely pure, meaning it should not have any bubbles or cracks. So at that time, it absorbs light instead of reflecting it. So then it appears in black. Or if there was a volcano near the iceberg and it erupted, and whatever ash formed at that time fell on the glacier, and then the glacier broke into pieces, then there is a possibility that it would still appear dark black to us. And while scientists don't have a proper answer as to why the Titanic-Sized iceberg appeared exactly black, one sailor said that when he looked from the crown's nest, it appeared black, while others said it appeared gray, dark gray. So that day, because it formed like that, it broke off from the Greenland glacier and came out, causing an accident to the Titanic ship and everyone on board died. Nowadays, with the increase in radar screening, accidents are not as common, but that wasn't the case in the past, so the possibility of such accidents happening now is unlikely. So that's it guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.